Good morning. It's Stacy from PeonyLaneDesigns.com. Have you subscribed to the channel yet? If not, click the little blue button. Don't forget to click the subscribe button, comment down below, like this video, and click the bell icon to be notified. Sorry I wasn't here yesterday. Minnesota's off its meds, and that means I'm swelling. I feel swollen today too. But yesterday my hands were like little sausages on the ends of my hands that I couldn't really make a fist. So it was just something's moving in, and today it's super cold. So that's what's moving in. Obviously it's winter, but pick a temp because it's just doing this up, down, warm, cold, and that makes me swell. And I'm just like, yesterday it could not, I couldn't even make it in here. I tried. I did turn the lights on for like a couple hours and then went, I can't get in there. It was ugly. Like my little fingernails looked like they were disappeared on the end of my hands. I went, it doesn't happen that often. It has to be like a big change coming in for it to happen. So it must be getting super cold. I'm not following the weather. It's Minnesota. It's November. We all know it's coming. Okay. As far as jewelry goes, we're not wearing earrings. I put a pair on this morning that had a lever back on them. And then my ears went, I hate this. Like the squeezy. So I'm going to give those to Victoria. They were my mom's. And then my ears swelled and I couldn't get a new earring in because the pressure, those are tight, y'all. Like I know they're supposed to keep the earring in, but and then today the ring, this is not real. So those of you who have nefarious thoughts, this was my grandma Gimsey's. And she wanted to be fancy, but she didn't have a lot of money, so she always bought costume jewelry. We had a conversation about costume jewelry in the comments, and it's just as good. This one reminds me of sitting in church with my grandma, and I would always play with her hands and her fingers, and that was hers with the little emeralds on it. Little costume jewelry emeralds. They're not real. I don't think they're real. I mean, I guess I never had it appraised. I'm pretty sure this metal is going to turn my finger blue by the end of today. I don't care. Reminds me of my grandma. So I'm wearing it today. So we're in the green today. I don't know. I'm not wearing green anywhere else. I know. I see it back there. I'm avoiding. Might as well talk about what we're going to use. So I went online and I found this. I've never used this. This is called Mont Marte Premium Fabric Paint Medium. It's supposed to stay flexible. Turn your acrylic paints into fabric paints with this easy-to-use medium. Layers can be built up once dry. Few questions in the comments. Did the stains come out? Nope. I don't know what that is on the front. It did not come out, so we're going to have to deal with it. We're going to have to layer up or figure it out, but yeah. I need to tape off the arms. I am going to try this fabric medium on the back of the chair first, because if it doesn't work, I'm going to have to find a new solution. And that means probably like the textile paints that I've used before. The jacquard was the textile paint that I love, the jacquard. But it's very expensive, and that's a big chair back there. That's a large chair. So we're going to try this first. Now, there's going to be people that go, why didn't you just use a chalk paint? You can use a chalk paint, use a chalk paint. I did that like back in the day. There's a video on this channel of me painting a chair that had a pattern on it. Can you cover a pattern with chalk paint on fabric? Yes, you can. And that chair is in my basement right now. And I'll tell you, it feels like plastic right now. So at first it felt like leather, but now it's been 5 years maybe, and it feels like plastic. It's not cracking. It stayed flexible, but it doesn't feel like leather anymore. So I don't want to do that on this chair. I'm not going to do that. There was another company and they insisted that their fabric spray paint was the best. And we have a video on that as well. And I didn't like it. And then they said I was using the old paint. And then they insisted that I use the new paint. And I said, if you send it to me for free, I'll try again. That chair is still in my basement as well. It has been 5 years and it is still sticky. So they told me, oh no, it's not going to stay sticky. It's still sticky. And it's so sticky that there's cat hair that has stuck to every inch of that chair. The cat footprint, dusty footprints. And you can still feel it's tacky. Like I can still put my hand on it and it goes, and I'm like, okay, I'm not using that again. So there's a lot of different products that claim to be really great for upholstery fabric painting. The one that I did like was the outdoor paint, the Rust-Oleum outdoor paint. We did those chairs. My mom had given me like cushions, and one was blue and two were red, and I made them all navy blue. I painted the red ones navy blue with that Rust-Oleum's outdoor paint. That's still holding up great. That stuff's amazing. Not sticky, very flexible, but again, it's outdoor furniture. So it has the feel of an outdoor fabric. So I don't know if that would be different on this type of fabric. I don't know. So we're not going to use that on this because I don't want to screw that up. I know the jacquard will work. The jacquard's very expensive. And then you're limited to the colors that jacquard has. Now they have a wide range of colors. Not all the colors that I would want to put on this chair. If I went with the jacquard paint, I would probably go with the blue. But I'm seeing this in green. And their greens are like a neon green. And then they had a emerald metallic green. Not seeing that. I'm seeing like a soft green, like a sagey green or a soft green of some kind. And they don't have that. So if I go with jacquard, we're changing colors. It's either going to be navy or white. So, because they have a pearl white that's really pretty, and then a navy metallic, which it is what it is. Their color selection's limited. Not really, but it is. It's limited to a vibe. Because I don't know what jacquard is supposed to be for. Painting shirts or... I don't know. But they have a lot of brighter colors, metallic colors, not the home interior colors, like what you would want on furniture. Like this would be the blue. That's kind of what that blue that they have looks like. Most people aren't going to want that in their house. If I have to switch to jacquard, it's going to limit my customers. I'm going through my thought process for you guys so you understand why is she trying this new product when she knows this one works, because it shrinks my customers down. I did a chair once with the jacquard and it was a copper metallic. It was super pretty, but it was a small chair. It was an accent chair. This is a larger chair, you guys. I mean, this is a good sized chair. This is something that you would have in your living room and for guests, not just something that you set in the entryway to put your shoes on, you know? That's my thought process. So that's why I went through the steps of why isn't she doing this? Why isn't she doing that? So I'm trying to answer all your questions ahead of time. Why didn't she try that? Why didn't she try this? Angelus Leather Paints has a fabric medium That works great. But it's expensive because Angelus leather paints are meant for things like shoes. So when they say it's a fabric medium, they mean you're going to paint your canvas shoes with them and they're going to stay flexible. They're not thinking this. They're not thinking a gallon of it so I can paint this chair. This is like huge. And I couldn't possibly paint a chair larger than this. It would take up too much money. Like the money I put into this, I doubt I'll get back at this point. So if I have to buy the Angelus, I certainly won't get my money back. This was less expensive and it had good reviews. So we're trying it. We're trying it. Okay. I mixed up just a small amount in this cup, and this is the color. That's the kind of green I'm looking for here. And what I'm finding on fabric paints is that they're for artists, not an artist, to do things like paint t-shirts and shoes and all that stuff. But I mixed this 1-to-1 with my paint. So the fabric medium, the Mont Marte. I went to their YouTube channel and their TikTok channel. And my biggest pet peeve at this point is companies that have multiple products that don't link directly to the video from the product page. Figure it out, guys. I do not want to scroll for an hour through your YouTube channel to find the one product I'm looking for. So I'd gone to their website and there's no like embedded in the product description. They should have links directly to how to use the product videos. It's marketing 101, guys. So, this definitely was up against a window because the back is much more faded than the front. This is totally sun bleached out. And we're going to try this. Got a brush. I got my paint. And we pray. Not nothing, guys. Never done this before with this product. I'm terrified. I said that just a second ago for you guys, but it was like an hour ago for me. So I'm going to repeat myself. I'm terrified. The texture of the fabric does make it a little difficult to maintain like evenness so far. Maybe I'll figure that out as I go. Next question is, do I just paint this small section and then we let it dry and see how it does? See if it stays flexible, or do I just do the whole back? I'm going with the whole back. Kind of have to circle it in here with this hatch mark pattern. What kind of pattern is that? I kind of lose, if I get too much paint, kind of lose that texture. Okay. So far, what I think is it smells funny. This fabric medium smells really weird. Like, I don't know. It's a weird chemical smell I can't identify. Like, you know how sometimes you can compare it when I say things like, oh, it smells like a perm, or I don't know what this smells like. I don't think I've ever smelled anything like this before. Definitely a chemical smell. The video of the product demo has no talking, No actual person explaining anything, just somebody mixing and painting. I would like product demos that have more information. Okay, we have a stain here. I'm just noticing up here. That stain that's on the front is right there. Let's see if we can cover it with this. That way we'll know if I have to put white over the one in the front. The piping up here had the same stain. And then does this, while it dries down, like, will my pattern come back? This feels like I'm losing my pattern. Definitely need to make sure your fabric is not worn as far as like holes in it or fraying or anything like that. I guess I could do a light stroke and then I would have the color that comes through underneath. That's something to keep in mind for a future project. Like you could see, let's see if you can, hang on. Okay, I'll have to zoom you in post-production. You can see here when I do like a dry brush technique over this, it changes the main color, but I don't lose the detail. Up here, I've clearly lost the detail. So if we have a product or a fabric in the future that we want to maintain like more of the detail, we could always do a dry brush over the top. But then there's the problem with unevenness. So I'm struggling with here anyway. Because of this hatch pattern on here. So these lines go this way, these lines go this way, sort of like a basket weave pattern. I have to kind of work the paint in every direction here to get it to cover. It didn't say wet the fabric. It didn't say, like, I'm like freaking out. Like, do I wet the fabric? It didn't say to. So the guy just started painting on a t-shirt. Didn't say the t-shirt is damp or anything like that. And it said you could paint cushions. So that's upholstery fabric. You got to make a lot of assumptions from their DIY video. And maybe they just never thought somebody would want to paint a full chair. I don't know why. It's fabric. All right. You don't need to watch me paint and gripe. So I'm going to paint the rest of this and then I'll come back. All right, first coat is on. We're gonna let it dry. It cleaned up off the brush really nice. No complaints there, no complaints cleaning it off my hands. Definitely had to clean it off my hands. Not all the way, but it's a little patchy just from the texture of this paint, or of the, not of the paint, but of the fabric. I know what I'm talking about. In my brain, I know what it is. I just can't get it out. So the whole back is painted now. We're gonna let it dry, see how flexible it is, see if it gets tacky. Before I do another coat, I'm just gonna let it sit. So I don't love the smell. I gotta leave the room. Not loving the smell. So not good. Giving me a little bit of a headache. I mean, it's kind of like as it's drying, the texture's coming back. The hatch marks are coming back. So I don't know what that's going to look like in the end. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay, it's been about 2 hours. It is still sticky in some places. It's not quite dry yet. Part of that has to do with the fact that this room is very cold. That's going to affect the dry time of any paints, anything like that. That's why I waited 2 hours to come back in here. It's patchy. Obviously, you can see that it's patchy, but it's changed the texture. It's not soft like the front anymore. You can hear it's kind of raised the nap of the fabric. It definitely needs a second coat. It's flexible, but again, it's feeling like, I don't know. I know people are going to say, oh, it feels like leather. I don't know. It feels like pleather to me. It's flexible. Margot! I'm expecting some package deliveries. That's probably that. Hang on. All right, the whole family was in here checking on it, so we've decided to continue on with the second coat. I wasn't sure if I really liked it because it's kind of got a canvasy feel, but Victoria went, oh, I don't think it changed it that much, so we're going to go with the second coat. Here we go. Okay, second coat evened it out pretty well. I don't think I'll need a third coat, but we're going to wait and see how this dries before I tackle any other part of this chair, because if it gets like hard or anything like that, I'm not, you know, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it's going to be okay. It's covering the stain. That's good. So, you know, there's good and there's bad. And that's with every fabric paint I've ever tried. I don't have any that I'm like, this is the best and I'll never use anything else. So far, no. But it's staying flexible. It just kind of feels like a little bit of a rough canvas instead of, you know, this worn fabric feel. It is flexible. That's good. We're going to let this dry and see if it dries, the second coat dries just as well, because if it does, then tomorrow we'll go on to the next side. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. Okay, we're like several hours later. It's a little rough. It's a little rough. The nap is raised a bit. It's not sticky. It's evened out, so I guess we're going forward. I guess we're going to go. Because, I mean, the raised nap, I don't think there's anything you can do about that. I don't know. Just feels like I wouldn't want to wear this as clothing. Kind of like wool. That's what it feels like. But it's evened out. The color's okay. It did cover the stain, so that's the end of today's video. I'm just going to call this because it's going to take a while to paint the front and the sides. But we'll get started on it tomorrow. All right. Thanks for watching. Happy junkin'. Bye.
Visit my blog, peonylanedesigns.com, for more tips, tricks, and inspiration. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll be notified of new videos. I post every week, DIY tutorials, and of course, more junkin' videos.